entered my life like a surprise, gentle, cool breeze on a hot and muggy night, gently ruffling my feathers with your naturally calm demeanor, weaving your amazement into the intricate labyrinths of my heart, seeping into my veins, my vessels, my arteries, to the point that you are now part of my flow. A flow that pulses to the beat of our heart, not your heart, not my heart, but our heart. A flow that is not held down by the past or stagnated in the present, nor is its future slowed down by timing according to social norms. This flow, our flow, is a God flow, divinely orchestrated by the love author himself, herself. Ours is a natural flow of mutual adoration, mutual respect, mutual connection, a flow that is never interrupted, it is only stimulated. Stimulated by the butterflies I feel in my stomach when I'm getting ready to see you. Stimulated by the warmth that shines down so kindly when you smile at me. Stimulated by the joy that leaps in my spirit when you laugh. Stimulated by your energy that I experienced as a jolt of lightning that courses through my body when you touch me. Man, you know, you got me shook up. I'm shook, like a shaken snow globe, in which the falling snowflakes never stop falling. Snowflakes that gently descend upon and cover my entire being like a cloak of peace. Peace that inspires me when you speak to me. Peace that encourages me when you speak with me. Peace that validates me when you listen to me and understand me. Peace that makes me blush when you touch my soul just by looking at me. Peace that infiltrates my mind. Boy, you know you're all up in my head. Caressing my mind, all up in my head. Caressing my mind with your intellect and creativity and ambition. Caressing my body with your eyes that pierce through my exterior all the way through to my inner being. Caressing my heart with your thoughtfulness, but most of all with your integrity. Caressing my spirit with your genuineness and all of your being. What is all this I'm expressing? I'm sure you know, but in case you don't, it's love.
Wow. Okay, both of these poems are going to be on forgiveness. The first one is called Forgive and Forget. Forgiveness is a blessing and not a sacrifice. God's way removes all stressing and frees us from sinful lice that hide away, controlling an equally sinful itch to recall all ancient memories and never lose a stitch of all assorted patterns that recall bad thoughts to you. For all bad thoughts bring with them your ancient feelings too. You will relive the anger. You will relive the pain. You will face sudden danger of suffering once again. But worse than that, you're still enraged by bad emotions from your cage. Your family and your friends receive the brunt of all and soon believe that you are a source of anger, that you are a source of fear. They will suffer from your memories and seldom want you near. Forgive and forget. Do not retain what causes you and others pain. When the Spirit of God is in you, you can do what you could not do. Therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering, bearing with one another, If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so also you must do. But above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfection, not romantic, erotic love, but the agape love of self-sacrifice, even as Christ did for you. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to which also you were called in one body, and be thankful. Since Christ's blood washes sinners clean, we're blessed that we may intervene. We can surrender all before his throne and share the mercy we have known. And the next one, well, and I might as well stop a minute and say what I'd most like to be known for is that I want others to share and know how important the love of Christ can be in your life. It can give you total peace where nothing else can. And the next poem on forgiveness is just called Forgiveness. It's those who ponder most on the offenses of others mask the love of their Father who created them brothers. If you wait for others to say, I'm wrong, your heart remains in a prison so strong. God wants you to have peace by first freeing your heart from what is worst. Holding on to bitter thoughts can harm your own soul, waiting on oughts. The other ought to say he's wrong, but you can be first to sing freedom song. God's mercy can wash away the grime, even if another committed the crime. What the devil doesn't want you to know is that God's Spirit frees your soul to grow into his likeness who died for you, forgiving all you could ever do.
I would now like to welcome Bear to our mic. And while Bear is on the way up, I'd like to announce a thing. I hadn't told but a couple of people, but I know that Noah has told a lot. Because it's exciting news for us. So there are 6 poets here in town who will be featured in this week's weekly newspaper. It will be Bear, Noah, me, Will, Lachlan, and Destiny. The online version will be out tomorrow. The printed will be out on Thursday. So look for us. We're going to be everywhere, and you're the first in the group to know. So Tracy and I are part of the Sister Circle, and I hadn't put it out there, but since you're here, you're the first in the group to know. So you have a heads up. But yeah, look for us, and when you see it, share it, read it, because it's a big deal. It's a really big deal for us. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back.
I'd be offended if you didn't. I'm kidding. I have missed you guys very much. I've been going through some stuff, and I'm really glad to be back. One thing people might not know about me, although a lot of people do, is that I have a 21-year-old trans son in college in Nebraska. And as far as I know, he's killing it. He's struggling sometimes, but he's doing really good up there. So that's a little something about me. Tonight are from my first book, Strangely Wonderful, available on Amazon. and they're applicable to how I'm feeling and have been feeling for a long time. This is called Battleground. This is supposed to be yet another poem to quell the pain, to turn it into glory, to make it make sense, to rise above it, to be inspirational by being happy despite it, but not today. Today I'm a soldier in a battle whose only silver lining is seen once it's over. There is no philosophy or clarity to be had in the middle of the battle. There's only pain and the need to fight, and the desire to stay alive to see that silver lining again. There is no humor, and there is very little wisdom. There's only pain, and the only wisdom is surviving it. There is screaming and curses to God and struggles to make it to the bathroom that destroy your independence and dignity. And if you want to see my bravery, come back when I'm healing and I'll show you my scars. Right now, all I have to show you are open wounds and the faith that no matter how many times you rebuild it in your interim, is always shattered again. You don't want to see the things a soldier goes through or has to do in order to come back home. So write me as much as you want and wait for me to return to myself. And always expect to say goodbye one more time. Because I'll always be dragged back and I'll always get wounded again. And just in case this time is my last battle and your last goodbye, I'll always remember you as the silver lining I could never see until the smoke cleared and the pain faded. Thanks for being the reason I will always come back home. All right, The Charge of the Lighthouse, and that's my next poem. All of these are very old, but still very applicable. All right, The Charge of the Lighthouse. I woke up with self-doubt, the gasoline of fear. This is how it starts. I am afraid because I don't think I can. I am afraid I am wrong in leading you in the wrong direction. I am afraid I am handling things in the wrong way. I am afraid I want all the wrong things for myself. I am not sure what I do matters, even with the evidence of doing right. I feel like some of this comes from some strange outsider beyond the walls of myself, like an attacker at the castle wall. When I am confident, there is nothing that compares with me. I am beautiful, and furthermore, and even more important, I am strong. I feel good, I know what I'm doing, I can see the light around myself as if I stood in a lighthouse and looked out at the beam of light which is savior to so many in the darkness. Does the lighthouse have doubts about its long, monotonous, ever-sweeping circle? Does it ever doubt that it can find anyone out there in all that stormy darkness? Does it start each morning in the stinging cold, wondering if its masters will forget to light that spark? We are lucky we can light our own, but this self-doubt is like water on the wick. When that spark is lit, when I'm aware of every fiber of my being lighting up with this power, I don't feel so helpless and broken anymore. I feel whole when others are found in my light. I know who that lighthouse was and still is for me, and she can also fall prey to self-doubt and second-guessing herself. But she let me in from the dark and has continued to be a source of light and love for me. I crashed into a few rocks on the way home simply due to fate and my own doubts and distractions. I came home broken, but I'm here. And despite all the questions and pain she has, she repairs me and prepares me to go back out into the deep. She should know that when she lights up, from an outside perspective, there is no greater force. She is a tower. She is a warrior. She is a force of nature. Is this what others see in me when I am on? If so, then there is no reason to doubt myself. I go with my first instinct. I trust the universe knows what it's doing with and through me. I don't subscribe to my own fear, which would be my excuse not to do what I am meant to do, shine. If I falter, I get back up. Too many people depend on me, and I have to be there, present within myself to light that wick. Fear not the monotony or the darkness. I help people. I mend broken boats. I send them back out into the deep to serve the purpose they were given. I shine, and I seek you out. Look for me. I'll be the second brightest, second farthest reaching light in the western sky, trumped only by the stars, which hover above us so very far away and shine in a more eternal darkness, devoid of doubt or fear. So brightly did they shine that they themselves are long gone, but their light is still seen by us, guiding us home. You can still see I messed up. And teaching us much about our amazing potential to shine. I want to shine so brightly and for so long that even when I'm gone, you can still see my light and be guided home by it. There is no room in this lighthouse for fear or doubt. There is only room for light. So shine. Such is the charge of the lighthouse that I accept by first accepting myself and loving myself, and secondly, by letting the power of that action spark a great light in myself. I can only hope you do the same. Shine brightly and never let the darkness in. These are very old and they're still very dear to me. It was more than 10 years ago when I put out that first book. It was more of a best of, and it was poetry from the year I was 18. Well, it was poetry from when I was 18 to like 28 the year the book came out. And it's 112 poems. It's like, the book's a monster. It's like 470 something pages. Strangely Wonderful. Look for Strangely Wonderful Poetry on Amazon, yellow cover, you'll find it. Not everything in that speaks to who I am or what I've been, or what I'm going through all the time, but it's all me. This last poem I'm going to leave you with is a shorter piece called Split Knee Promises, a love letter to rock bottom. Have you ever made split knee promises? The gravel at rock bottom swells the feet and you find yourself looking for the up elevator. Here, God's name is repeated in earnest more than in any church. Here is where the rubber would meet the road if there were any rubber left and the road led anywhere. Have you ever felt like you would give a blowjob for a good sandwich? Have you ever been robbed of the luxury of choice? Have you ever rubbed the dirt in your wounds because it's all you have? Have you ever been healed by another kind of sickness? Headphones here become sacred no matter what you use them for. You can find hidden treasure in the back of your pantry once all the other canned goods are gone. A big can of peaches can make you cry. Who knew eating by candlelight could be so goddamn unromantic? You lie on a towel in an open field at 1:30 a.m. and you listen for the crickets to tell you the secret of happiness. A certain kind of sufficiency is maintained when the distractions die off. You don't see it settling once you realize what you still have when you seem to have nothing. You begin to long for those once forfeited walks with God. You begin to forget about the power bill and the presence of true power. You awaken on the reality of your wounds. What once was painful and bothersome becomes viewed as the only entryway to a body numb to all the other signs. Once you see that, you begin to wonder what got in and why. God swims in the blood and resets the fire. You become grateful and hungry for more life. Have you ever thanked God for rock bottom? The only way to look is up, and the only way out is to climb. He wants you stronger. He wants to remind you of what living is. He wants more than split knee promises. He wants the results that healing can bring. He wants to bring you back from yourself, from your demons, from the world. There is no up elevator, only the stairs you carve out step by step. If you want out, you'll get out. If he wants to wake you up, he'll shake you. If he wants you to seek him, he'll hide the light so you can find him in the darkness, and in doing so, you will find yourself and shine once more and beautiful. And thank you.
Every time it's always something big, and it's like, I know each piece is big, so you get 3 big things at a time, every time. One took me back to my time in, and kind of actually up until today, about my service in the military and being hurt, being wounded, healing, not healing, falling backwards, looking at the stuff that hurt again and again and again, no matter the level of healing that me and a lot of others have reached. And being a woman in the military, being a woman veteran, there are people who will say, imply, write, post, what have you. Oh, so you didn't see combat? First off, fuck you. All of the battles don't happen over there. Most don't happen over there. And I don't get to leave my battleground behind. I walk around in my battleground every day, all day. You know, so healing is a thing. Battleground is a different thing, and you don't know where somebody is, and you don't know where they've been. You know, so be kind, because you don't know. You don't know. Next poet, let's see. Oh, okay. There was one poet who was here in the fall and became reacquainted with our group on Saturday at our writers' workshop. So please welcome her back to our mic, Jay.
So I feel like one thing that I want the world to know about me is that I really try to always choose to be a kind person. I really want to stress that point before I read this first poem, because I wrote it when I was real mad. And the title of this one is "This Will Be Your Curse."
I'm recording, is that okay?
Is it okay if he records you?
That's fine.
Thank you.
This will be your curse, to have to endure without me. You might find it easy, even. When you said I was such a wordsmith, when you said you wanted me to write you something, when you were calling me babe, it was before you said that it was all just a joke. Why isn't it funny then? Why can't I take a joke? Why does it send me reeling that you admitted our friendship was just a silly little game at my expense, a few months of entertainment for you? Why was it so hard for me to believe you when you said you weren't good for me? Bitch, you wanted a poem. Why don't I start by showing you how I spell? Something to look back on when your long, gorgeous hair tangles around your neck as you sleep, gripping your throat, startling you awake to remind you that now you have to go search for friends that will accept that kind of treatment. You want poetry written for you? I will give you red pepper in a jar, incense smoke to sting your eyes, runes on a piece of paper that burns slowly, methodically, getting angrier by the second. It glows with power, the edges curl. You want to see just how deadly my words can be? I'll show you.
All right.
My rituals are buried so deep in your backyard you will never find them. You'll probably never realize why you don't even exist to me. You'll just see me and look away, and this will be your curse. So I wanted to share this one. I wrote this after I was volunteering at a student drag show to raise funds for trans rights. And it's called It's a Drag. Driving through an Alabama sunset with your eyes stinging, it's hard to believe that just a few days ago you were with your people. You spent the day at the hospital, slipped your grandmother a 20 from your wallet because as desperately as you need it, you know she needs it more. There's a payphone that doesn't work, a useless relic, an Instagram post, and really, does that even begin to alleviate its obsolescence? There's that buzz in the back of your mind while you're driving, the flashes of faces you thought you'd forgotten, and the embarrassment when your grandmother said to the woman in the waiting room, "We thought you didn't speak English." Not wanting to be lumped into her racism, it's hard to believe that just earlier you were cavorting backstage at a drag show, not thinking about what it felt like to take the pride flag down and tuck it out of sight, trying to toe the line between being a coward and being safe. That night in the lights and the glitter and the pounding of the bass, you're not thinking about what it feels like to tell your baby brother that his transphobia slices you from ear to ear, rips into your guts, and splays open all the childhood memories that didn't always reduce you to tears, and you'll be damned if they do now. What is more dangerous for you, being with your people, being who you are, knowing the consequences of just trying to exist, or trying to hide it and watching it chip and chip and chip away at your soul? You know you can't do both. The choice should be easy, but what about the love you have for the people who are so insistent on hating you? You know you'll never see them in the audience. You'll never see them cheering on new performers, donating to trans people, or accepting you for who you are. So why not? Why not embrace the glitz and the glamour, the safety of being in a collective of people that will always understand exactly the hell that you clawed your way out of? If life is a drag, if every moment is spent clamoring laboriously for survival, then why wouldn't we make a show of it?
All right, our next artist was around Pensacola Poetry before I was a part of Pensacola Poetry. And I'm glad to see that they have returned and felt comfortable enough to come back and share with us. Please welcome B to our mic.
Hello.
I haven't been on the mic in years. Pre-COVID years. So I'm a little nervous. Bear with me. Can you hear me?
That's better.
I wrote this. I wrote this in 2019. After me and my daughter went through a pretty rough time and I was in a really dark place. But for some apparent reason, every time I read it, it encourages me. So, yeah, it's called Stay Woke. Everybody's always talking about stay woke. But what if you really can't sleep? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but 4 little words broke me. Apart, they are harmless, but together, the deadliest 4 words I had ever heard in my life. What if 4 words kept you up at night? And I'm up, lingering through my mind, wondering the lasting effects of a lifetime. 4 words. Uttered from an innocent child's mouth, you can't imagine what to do next because 4 words just changed your life. Said casually to you at a random time, but now that random time has changed time. The clock ticks slower, tick, tock, tick, tock. counsels. You seek counsel to your loved ones and God, but 4 words won't stop running through your mind, even though you're walking in slow motion, mind running, not going anywhere. The destination is unknown. 4 words. You think, and I told all better ways to look at this, but it doesn't change those 4 words. Yes, I am woke. I heard it. I also know that the president feels like the enemy. My color is scary to ghost folks, so discrimination is apparent. Poverty is real. Video evidence doesn't provide justice. Politicians are injustice. Divide is on high. Slavery is still real. Black faces at Halloween keep happening. My natural hair isn't good enough to interview me. Oh yeah, Flint still ain't got water. Puerto Rico is not normal, and the list goes on, but all I can think about are 4 words. All that time that I never said my 4 words. I didn't tell my truth, brushed it under a rug, but similar to a plant, my 4 words grew. They didn't need watering or sunlight, just the action was enough to plant the seed, pushed in the back of my mind in hopes to forget that time when I birthed the little me that came back to the front of my mind, and now it was a tree that I had hoped not bear fruit, something like a burning bush. It lingered, thinking, how can you prevent this from happening again? But it did. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. Well, those 4 words repeat in my mind over and over and over again, so I guess that makes me insanely woke. Woke of the society's apparent misled problems, social media making the unconscious conversation an everyday conversation, but is it really changing then to now and forevermore, waking up in the fear of the psychological effects forever embedded in the roots of a tree that I never watered or even planted, but now I'm woke. So good night. Thank you.
I don't even know what the 4 words are, but she made me cry. Balance. Where is balance? There it is.
Hey. It's good to see y'all. What do I want the world to know about me? I just want the world to know that I'm real. Like for real, you dig? Like a real level to where it's like I feel you. No matter what language is spoken, no matter anything really. I don't know. It's for a while, even just growing up, I didn't feel like I existed. I felt like I was like playing this video game, and like there's just people around me, and believe it or not, like I had like this point system constantly going. But it was the best way I could make sense of reality around me, because as a kid, I didn't really, the world didn't feel real, and everything felt like a joke to me. And it's not, but it's sometimes funny. And but yeah, I'm real, really here, and I really care. So that's why I want the world to know. So I've been writing a lot, just in general. Just been writing a lot to deal with some things. Nothing, necessarily bad, just overwhelming, And let's see, can I find it? Sorry, hard sometimes. from a place of inner peace. And no, I just didn't discover inner peace. However, I'm more fascinated by it because I'm around so many different people and have so many different conversations. A lot of times I find myself trying to figure out how to make things work, how to resolve things. I'm constantly trying to keep the ball moving. And, you know, things can get crazy. But the best I got is inner peace, because the more I focus on my peace, the more I'm available to the people around me. But I keep having to remind myself I have to be available for myself, you know? So I'm gonna start off with this one, and I end the other one. This one's called Sword. Sipping from the calmness of my mind, oh Lord, somebody help me entertain this life, I keep forward. Dancing with the grind as I mine it inside of the frequencies within the existence of this ride. Going through my truths as I orchestrate lies to temporarily exist in order to get by. Every so often I allow myself to cry, a necessary sacrifice to receive more joy in this life. The power that comes with being humans, such a beautiful destruction I'm constantly constructing. Mindsets while learning how to budget the energy I possess, because it's in that I find purpose. Words spell out the situations we perceive, our brain receives and work out deals with the heart. Who will become masters of the light and the dark? Yin to my yang as I sit back and spark with the green from the earth, with those I found worth in. Windows seal love in the moment, I find boldness in my existence, because I carry them in my soul's memory bank as I pay the price for my existence. Life is a game and I keep on winning. Sinning is me being my own opposition. I'm working on sainthood now. Hell is where I do my heavy lifting. Everybody is gifted, but we get so caught up on the difference. We lose sight of ourselves. Even though we're surrounded by our reflection, I'm vexed with an appetite for artistic riddles, fiddles, jamming in my head, giving me direction, questions. I speak out loud to gain more experience. I'm a jester, making guesses in my execution, to figure out the state of normalcy while flirting with the constant threat of being executed. Maybe my air is too polluted, but I'll evolve to keep moving. Will my manhood nurture with beauty to inflict pain upon a woman, to spring upon a living being? Or will I just keep finding pleasure in the warmth of sensual bonding? Hurricanes in my mind, bring the pain and the healing I would find. What I lost sight of because of my commitment to the grind. I used to stress punctuality until I fought the clock and took my time. Patience is my ally, keeping me from falling behind. Music, mouth, and patterns are the tools I use to bind the demons within to help them define the power to be restored to a place of celebration. Advancement comes out of mastering the basics. Life is a journey, don't get stuck in temporary placements. Dreams of possibilities, what will you do with yours? Will you die before you fly, or will you let vibrate into more? Will you build from the core, or treat life as a chore? Sword. Thank you. I appreciate y'all listening to that. I really do. Really grateful. And I'm gonna read Dancing. And this poem means a lot to me. I really just kind of realized that. I love to dance. I just do. I love to dance because it's freedom in it, you know? And I love to see other people dance. I don't believe in judging dances. Actually, the only reason why I like dance competitions is because it allows people to show off dances, but I do not agree with putting dancers together and saying which one is better, because I feel like dancing is art and movement coming together. It's energy, you know? It's self-expression in a way that it's not limited by words. So I take dancing very personal. I don't really like when people tell me they can't dance, because I just don't believe it, because I feel like it's you. I feel like we gotta stop robbing ourselves of the beauty we already have. Like, we gotta stop looking outside ourselves to feel like we can just be amazing. We are amazing, you know? But I can go on and on, but this one's called Dancing. I wake up and roll the dice without a second thought. To play is to win, to stop is becoming lost. What is purpose without action? Idle talk. I easily get into the zone like Rudy with the chalk. I keep my cool as I dive into what's seen as danger. If I'm lacking fear, then I'm more likely to endure. I accept the life I have like a man falling off a canyon. Not a lot of time to waste on worry about the ending. My mind has gone through a multitude of upgrades. I create tools that are invisible to the human eyes. I engage with the energy of spoken words, crafting within the sonics that absorb nutrients into my heart. Whereas I used to get butterflies from running, I now get phoenixes rising from the ashes, inspired to listen and build upon my masculine framework. I put seeds into the dirt and sprouted a garden within my mind. It refrains me from going berserk as I dance with the lightning and the dragons flying without concern for my safety. I'm too deep into this to now become hasty. Patience is the key I use to unlock light beams that illuminate the path for the eyes that reside all over my body. I wear a clock as a medallion because it reminds me that my vibe is so right that I don't have time to worry about the timing. I'm in a flow that has cleansed me from being tied to earthly projections influenced by carnality. I play in dimensions while I manipulate the gravity. My chambers of secrets are quite wicked, break dancing within dark arts while creating sparks from the one that my mind split in times into lines that I snort through my eyes. I fold within and teleport to places of fascination, pure wonder without the corruption of chasing, assimilation meant to keep me in displacement from being at my most comfortable state, dancing.
Saw myself being able to dance as well in real life as I do in my head. Be winning awards in my head. That's what it is. Next to our mic, let us welcome Arlo.
Oh, thank you for paying for that drink, by the way. Also, that drink was amazing. Thank you so much. But what I would like the world to know, or I guess you guys, since some of you guys have seen me grow up, it's pretty much only Erika, honestly.
And Dakota.
Erika, Dakota. But, is that a couple months, maybe a year ago, I used to be an objectively bad person, lying, cheating, all that stuff. And it came from a place of self-hatred, and it took a lot of work and a lot of time to get where I am now, and I'm proud of it. So that's all I wanted to say. So I do have good news, but I did not say it because I'm gonna say it now because okay, so anyways, my good news is that I have two new things. I have a new crush and I have a new poem about said crush. So, yeah, this is kind of the first love poem I've ever done. I have like joking ones and all that stuff and like hate love poems, weird. But this is the first love poem I've ever had because when I tried to sit down and write one, it didn't feel truthful. It didn't feel like I was really being truthful with myself and truthful with the person I was talking about and truthful with you guys. But this is straight from my heart, so yeah. I'm actually gonna do it. The title is just the guy's name, not gonna say obviously, but I want to get to know you. With every expectation of the good, the bad, the weary, and the sad, I want to get to know you. and your smile. I want it to get to know me. I want it to recognize me, feeling comfortable enough to show itself in its whole entirety, not the waning crescent you allow us mortals to see from afar. I will not worship your evening light, but I want to get to know your cycles well enough to appreciate your full moon. I like that. I want to get to know you because the little light you have shown me was enough. Enough to wake me up from my self-chosen, rejuvenating hibernation. Enough for me to crawl out of my warm cave and bless you with the warmth of my interest and love. I want to get to know you with no expectation of you wanting to know me. But you will. Icy moons like you usually melt under my warmth. So if I come back in a couple weeks, I'm real mad. You guys know what happened. Don't say anything. We all know. So I think I'm gonna do another one that I did last time, but I really like it. This is completely changed. This one's a really mad one, but I feel like it's justified. So it's called Run Little Piggies Run. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you are all very smart people, but did you know that pigs can't look up at the sky? Their bone structure makes them naturally look down instead of up. Deny the truth the big blue sky offers, the stiffness of their necks only contributing to their ignorance. An ignorance fueled by their lack of curiosity. Sure, because sure, you can look up, but it's easier to look down, more natural to look away. I'm starting over, I don't like how I did that. Sorry guys, sorry. Their bone structure makes them naturally look down instead of up. Deny the truth that the big blue sky offers, the stiffness of the necks only contributing to their ignorance. An ignorance fueled by the lack of curiosity. Because sure, you could look up, but it's easier to look down, more natural to look away, ignore all the pain and suffering you put people through. I wonder how many mysteries I could have solved if I just looked up and saw the truth. The truth is right in front of you pigs. You walk around with your ignorance, not even thinking of it, looking down at your desk, signing people's death certificates. Is this what you signed up for? Little do the piggies know where they are going, all lined up, ready for the slaughterhouse. Because what they fail to understand is that we might be the pig's food, but for every pig, there's a butcher waiting, and it's only a matter of time.
Next to our mic is the journalist who invited us group of poets to be in It Weekly. So please give it up for Dakota.
And also, it's an honor to feature any poets. I just wish I could feature like every poet I know.
You had trouble figuring it out.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to dole it down to 6 people. So, I'm gonna read some old shit. I haven't read this in a minute, but I was listening to Patience talking about nature, and so I've been homeless like 3 times in my life. One of those times was I lost my home to a flood in Iowa. The Mississippi flooded and destroyed our house. And I wrote this poem the first time I visited New Orleans. I got lost, my phone was dead, and I couldn't find my way back to my car. But I smelled the Mississippi, and I remembered where I parked because my nose pointed me to the river. And so I wrote this, and it's kind of a meandering long piece, but it's called An Ode to the Big Money. I am no cartographer. I don't know my west from my north or my east from my south, but I can find my way to her. Like cockroaches to food sources, or the pungent glue in the walls holding together all of the broken homes. Disoriented crumbling industry, Midwest America's biggest attraction, a second best to Snake Alley. The dancing snowflakes meeting earth from atmosphere, kissing the muddy ice under the subtle lights, struggling in hue from the Great River Bridge. Downriver, at her mouth, I've misplaced my car, somewhere on Chipotle Street or maybe Decatur, tipsy and blue, wallowing in the brass instrumentals. The smell of her rich clay floats past me at the intersection. Suddenly, I am oriented, a direction cardinal, but only in nature. As if I am born from the same atoms or bacteria seeped into the well water that raised me. From tap and garden hose, her thick mud swallowing everything it touches, indistinguishable from anything. The mud that covered our floorboards for 4 months, that dried in the sun, caked on into clay. The water that sat lapping away at the second-story chimney, destroying a house, a farm, a marriage, 2 childhoods, and drowning the neighbors in their beds as they slept. But you're right, Terrence, nor shall I blame the Mississippi for overflowing her banks, menstruating rage against the levees, trying so hard not to give way. The citizens like ants or Green Army men figurines in formation, sandbagging her banks. To be contained is such a dangerous thing. Every spring when the ice melts up north and the rain softens the earth for harvest, the hydrologic prediction graphs raise like trickle-down economics. Do you think that's where the word comes from? The etymology of trickle-down. The money floating down the river, getting richer, turning darker from the blood of the souls ripped from their mothers, wives, husbands, children, sent down her sweet banks in shackles and chains. I don't want to write these words. The slave trade was not, is not a beautiful thing. The African diaspora, 10.5 million people ripped from their homes, 1.5 million dead in transportation, thrown off Canadian into shallow, unmarked graves. The way a body melts in water is not a beautiful thing, bloated and engorged with rotting fumes and acid. The summer the kids found the body by the docks and poked it with a long stick was the summer my father taught us how to fish in the channel, pulling up the anchor to the john boat and letting it float downriver. The summer we discovered a farmer's goats on an island, pitching our tents in the soft sand to camp alongside his goats, where they led us to the ropes tied in the great tall trees, swinging off them into the brown murky water, stepping on oysters and catfish skins. That summer I swallowed my fair share of muddy water. But to this day, I still cannot blame her. By nature, she was not ill-gotten, polluted. Her scent still attracts me, triggering every mirror neuron in my brain. A dose of nostalgia amongst freeloading neurotransmitters. The curves of her banks trace the fecund ground like hips. The first woman to allure me, intoxicate me, fill me with rage, anguish, love above all. To this day, I cannot help raising a hand across the brown, tainted water every time I am near her, just to stop and think all of these thoughts. Thank you. I'm going to do a short one. Also old. This one's called the 2 a.m. call. Watching water swells crash against yacht docks on the top floor of her beach condo. She walks onto the balcony, wind nipping at the towel wrapped around her body, handing me a cup of coffee and a bottle of her father's brandy. The towel drops, a smile, long legs twisting around, rhythm rubbing between, hips kissing the guardrails, hair down, air drying in the salt. The storm is getting closer, black clouds surrounding the island as she dances, humming to a French melody. And I know this is it for us. This is all we will ever be. Hidden in beach condos, New York apartments, and million-dollar vacation homes. She will call me between marriages, heartbreaks, sleeping children, sick family members, and I will come to her to watch her dance, drink, and fuck herself back together in my arms, whispering to me, I wish you were a man.
Before I call the next, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Are you on my list? Okay. Well,
to Noah.
I'm the cough-tastic girl. So I'm so sorry about that. I have gotten over being sick. I'm not sick anymore. I'm not contagious. I just sound different. So there's that. I have a short one, and then like a medium-sized one. This first one, super, super short. Oh, something I want people to know about me. Strap in. I can do this really good impression of a lizard. Like really good. Like I can get down on the ground on all fours and do an impression of a lizard, and like my eye will track like a lizard does, and then I crawl like a demon child. We're not doing it. The thing about it is, if I have performance anxiety, so if I do it in front of y'all, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna make sense, and then you guys won't believe me. So just trust that I can do a really good impression of a lizard.
Have any videos?
Okay, now let's get a little sad. I'm writing a poetry book, guys. You said that nobody ever says it ahead of time. I'm writing a poetry book. It's gonna have 49 poems because Jesus got 49 lashes. And I'm at 35 out of 49 poems, so yeah. And this is what I have chosen to be the prologue, the very first poem in this book. So it's called Lack Thereof. It's very short. Children will die from a lack of love from their parents. Babies perish this way. Science has shown us this. This is not a story about dead babies, lest we evoke the wrath of the Catholics. This is the story of a child who miraculously survived a lack of love. Thank you. And then I've got this one, and this might just be my last one because it's a little long. This is called, what is it called? This is called Oblivion, or Where You Are Now. What I would say if I could whisper into oblivion. I would say, hello. It's been so long. It's so good to see you again. I would say, my, have you grown, in my best southern drawl. I would say, let's go swimming for old time's sake, because that's what you used to love to do when I knew you well. I'd say, let's fly across the Atlantic with 6 PBJs instead of 3 and 4 gallons of milk instead of 2. We could take flight, just me and you. I would say, I'm sorry about your mother and your brother, and about my mother and me. I'm sorry I wasn't there. They ripped us apart. You see, I was waiting. I was waiting for you to grow older, wiser, more powerful, independent. I was going to make that phone call. For 10 years, I thought of you and our phone call. The one we would eventually have. The one we never got to have. I was waiting to share with you a book I love. It goes, here I am, here I am, here I am. So glad you are, so glad you are, so glad you are. I was waiting for you. On your 18th, I searched for you, scoured the internet like a modern detective, and oh, how I found you. In an obituary. First name, last name, death by suicide. If I could whisper into oblivion, I would scream myself hoarse. Stay here, wait, keep playing this losing game. We'll build an alliance, and when you're older, stronger, wiser, reunite. I promised. I meant to keep that promise. And when that day came, I found you, all too late. Did you lose faith in me while you were waiting? Thank you.
It's always good. It's always good. Nice to see you. I have to check because I hate when I forget people. I selected one piece from me, and you all get to pick this second. Do you have one in mind, or do you want to pick a number?
33.
Thank you very much. That's wild. Just think.
33.
That's
33 is a picture, but there's one on the other side. This one was written with consideration of how a lot of women feel while they're processing the understanding that they are going to have or has just had a hysterectomy. So there's that. It is entitled, "You Did Not Make Me a Woman." You did not make me a woman. I carried you. We went to places righteous and raggedy. I allowed too many to get too close to you, and you stayed with me. When my deeds almost ended you, you fought back and won. But you did not make me a woman. You grew, constricted, and bled and healed month after blessed month. You cradled my babies, preparing them to enter this plane. You stretched yourself, creating a space for them to grow, but you did not make me a woman. One day, I went to sleep. While I slept, they dug into me, into my flesh, into my garden, and harvested you. Harvested you to save the whole of me. Then I awoke, more grateful than empty, more fixed than broken. I carried on, but now I say, thank you, you beautiful piece of me. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being the gift, the pain, the home you were. Our time together was special and necessary, but you did not make me a woman. I did not become a mother because of what we created together. I am a mother because I mother. I became a woman through loving, giving, holding, learning, teaching, being. I am a woman through divinity and holiness. The universe spoke, and I am. You were the uterus, but I am the womb. One day I will go to sleep for good. Prayerfully, those left behind will dig into my legacy and harvest the goodness of my heart, the power of my words, and the peace of my mind, because I will have been a woman, a good woman, a womb man, whole, perfect, and complete. So, in 2009, He went to the other side, chose on prayed, little deuces, however you want to say it, his body is no longer here. And I went through all the things I've gone through since that time. And last week, a really good friend of mine, I was with her when her father crossed over. I did much better with it than I thought I was. It was an honor to be there, to watch them experience each other at that level, in that way, in that space. And so, of course, it sent me back to, thoughts of my dad. And so I will read one of the pieces that I've written about him. It's entitled Daddy's Princess. I'm seeing you right now, and I know you're just visiting from the other side. I'm so glad to see you. I've been wanting to talk to you since you left. You weren't there as I grew up. You were always sick with your poison of choice and might pop in every 5 years or so after you've gone to get better. It never lasted long, so I never trusted you. Although you never treated me like one, you insisted on calling me princess. I hated it. I got better, but I don't think you knew how much I wanted to love you. Despite the hurt you caused, I wanted to love you so much that I had to love myself enough to forgive myself, to have room to forgive you so I could love you. So that's what I did. That's how much I wanted us to be together. In a way we couldn't be when I was a little girl. You're gone now, but I wanted you to stay so I could learn who you were. Could we tie a tie? Could we dance? Did you remember anything about me when I was little? I had no memory of you really looking at me. Look at me now, Daddy. You may never get another chance. You may not visit me in my dreams again. I need to see the pride in your eyes. I need to see the pride in your eyes you said you had for me. Remember that very last time we talked? You told me for the first time that you were proud of me. When you said that, you healed 1,000 wounds on my soul. Then you kicked me off the phone because you had to go watch your Saints play. They won the Super Bowl that season, Daddy. Sunday, October 18, 2009 was the last time your voice met my ears. 2 evenings later, I sat in a parking lot, tears wetting my face, and I hoped my cries could reach heaven. Please don't take my daddy. I just got him. The next morning, for the first time in my life, I saw you lying down. You were in that hospital bed with your eyes sealed by some sedative. I could smell the toxin that was eating your flesh. We knew you knew we were there watching you. Lindsay said if you could speak, you'd tell us to stop looking all in your face. You'd be mad. Looking at you, hoping you would heal, and knowing that you wouldn't, I stayed there as long as I could. After a near sleepless night, they told me you were resuscitated twice overnight. I felt my heart had stopped just as yours had. Your face was a little twisted and your soul dragged angrily, waiting to be released from your broken body, and we wanted to free you, and we wanted you to stay. As the machines beat and dread lay heavy, I held your hand. I tried to ready myself, but to no avail. She unplugged the machines and all that could be heard were your labored breath, weighted by years of longing to be free. I touched your face. Daddy, you were so hot. I laid my head on your chest and felt the banging of your heart fighting to stop. I wanted you to go. I needed you to stay with me, but I couldn't tell you. Maybe you would have stayed if I told you. Daddy, please don't leave me. I love you. Your little princess needs you, Daddy. Please. But I didn't say anything. I just let you fade away so you didn't have to hurt anymore. You couldn't be there to be my daddy, to ignore my calls, to ask me for money to drink your beer because you had to go get better. This time, it will last so you can visit me all the time. We can talk all the time. You can tell me what to do and I just might listen now. Oh, but what I would give to hear you call me princess one more time. Thank you for being here and for listening and for sharing your hearts and your thoughts and holding space for everyone who had heart and courage to share with you. We will be here next week, but not the week after, but be here next week because we're gonna be here. Okay. Thank you. Say hi to somebody before you go. Thank you again for culture, Rebecca. Okay? And we'll see y'all next week. Yeah, get your chance.
Smack you or hug you right now.